Hello, everyone. This is once again your host, Shailesh, bringing you live an amazing series that we have started a couple of years ago, which is all about life journeys of real humans talking real things with their real experiences and real wisdom. And what a day today it has been today for me to, when we discover all these humans, I have actually got an author who is discovering all the hidden potentials of human beings. And today I have the pleasure to invite Natalie Gardner all the way from Australia. However, I like to introduce little bit about it, as this show is all about real talk, real experience, real wisdom that people like to share. And what a journey this human that we are going to speak and interact with is Natalie Gardner. She is the author of Discover Your Hidden Potential. So I have discovered Natalie. So I'm having the pleasure to actually discover this hidden potential of Natalie. And we're going to talk about the life journey of her. So today I'm not going to talk more about her, what she has done and what she has done, because she has done an amazing. That's why we have invited her to talk about her life journey. So without any further delay, I'm going to introduce you to all the listeners, Natalie Gardner, a life journey that we're going to interact with. And this topic, which started when few years ago, was not because that we like to know about people, but we like to learn from these humans that are surrounded by us. Because we are here not to complete anything or anyone's journey, but we are here to make everyone's journey with sharing our experiences and amazing journey. That's what we humans are potential and powerful of. So without further delay, Natalie, welcome to our show, the life journey of today that we are going to speak about you. Tell us something about you first. Who are you? Let's uncover that first and let's discover that first. Natalie, over to you.
Thank you, Shailesh, for having me. It's great. Who am I? Like you said, just an everyday average person.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. So where shall I start with that? Where do you want me to start, Shailesh?
Yeah, so I want to know a little bit about your, what is this way you became an author of Discover Your Hidden Potential, but then before that you are also now a founder of, some hypnotherapy you do, and then you have been a very, very celebrity kind of a personality. So I would go back to that first entry, that what were you as a child? What were your mindset as a child? And then how did you explore, evolve yourself? Because
Yes.
we talk about evolving, we talk about humans evolvement, but today I'm going to talk about you, how you evolved, and how was your journey right from day one when you made consciously certain decisions of your life. That's why this is life journey, because we talk about life journey, we learn about life journey, about people. I want to start from where you were as a child. Tell us something about your naughty childhood. That how was you as a child?
Okay. All right, great. So we'll start childhood.
Yeah.
So as a child, one of three, the eldest of three,
Mm-hmm.
always lived in South Australia. So I'll be honest, I thought I was not very smart, and
Mm-hmm.
I felt as a child that I never really fit in.
Mm-hmm.
But I did notice that when I did have friends in primary school and that, I was always the leader. I was always the one thinking up the games to play and always the leader. So I guess I, without knowing it, discovered in retrospect, thinking back, that I've always been a bit of a leader. So my childhood was one of, I was very shy,
Mm-hmm.
very reserved. Even when I started working, so now we're in my early 20s, or actually, let's backtrack. When I was 14,
Mm-hmm.
at school, they kept talking about, what are you going to do when you finish high school?
Yeah, yeah.
And remember that at school, and then they make you have these lessons and you sort of go through with a career advisor at school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought to myself, as I said, I wasn't very smart. I wasn't very smart, and therefore, and I was all good with that. It wasn't a dilemma. I just accepted the fact that I was not intelligent. I
Mhm.
don't know how I formed that belief, but as we know, subconscious beliefs get formed very early in life.
So true.
Yeah, so and now I'm a hypnopsychotherapist, so I know all about that. But backtracking, that's what I thought. So I chose a career that I thought was appropriate for the appropriate for me, the best thing I could do. And at the time, I thought that would be a dental assistant. I
Mm.
like working with my hands.
Okay.
I'm not saying people that are dental assistants aren't very clever, because honestly, I realized very quickly that that whole belief system was wrong, because everybody is special, everybody has a gift,
Mm.
and everybody has a talent. But anyway, whatever trajectory I began on, that were the ground roots of how I began. So at the age of 50, just before I turned 15, I got my first job as a dental assistant, and I was still at school doing year 10.
Mm.
So it started from there. So forwarding now, when I began, so I was working for a few years, then finished high school, finished year 12, started working at the Adelaide Dental Hospital.
Mm.
And that was an amazing turning point in my life for developing confidence,
Mm.
because are people are mirrors for us. And
So
I
true.
had the dentists and senior dental assistants and people that I worked with saying, "Oh, you're really good.
Mm.
Oh, we should put you with the head dentist. You work really fast, you know what you're doing." And I slowly started to see myself in a different way. So
Mm.
they were the early days of building confidence.
Mm.
And then it went from there.
So that's great. But tell us something, your mindset at that time. You know, every child has got a desire or a dream that I want to become this, I want to become that. However, to do that, you have to be taking those initiatives on your own, or you have to listen to your parents or your colleagues or your friends or your surroundings. But what was going through at that time, and how did you made your mindsets different?
Okay, so I remember another turning point was when I finished year 12 of
Mm-hmm.
high school, and school was done. And I remember sitting in my lounge room, and remember back then we had the Encyclopedia
Yes,
Britannicas.
yes, yes.
And I pulled one out and I thought, I can't do this. I need to read something. I've just been learning and learning every day of my life, and then boom, nothing. And
Mm.
so I remember sitting there thinking, no, I needed to keep going with study. And that's when I started, even though I was a dental assistant at the age of 14, you didn't have to study back then to do that. You could be
True.
trained on the job. But I decided to pursue in that direction, like with proper
Uh-huh.
training. So
Yeah.
that was the one moment that I remember staring out the window by myself at home thinking, I need to do something here. So I
Mm.
guess to answer your question, it honestly came from within. I
Your
can't
heart.
say it
Okay.
came from without. It
Yep.
came from listening to myself.
That's powerful. That's really powerful, because that's what most of our listeners probably are listening and going, hey, I did this, I did that. But where did it come from to start with? How you may have done many things, but how did it start it? How did it got initiated? And that's the
Yeah,
good thing, that within within is the most powerful thing that you could think of, right? And you
yes. Yeah. I guess there's always been a little voice
yes,
that without even knowing that, because if we want to coin that, if we want to put a label on it, we
yeah.
could say that is the voice of spirituality. We could
Hmm.
say that as a broad term. So
Yeah.
I guess I
But
was
I guess at that age we don't understand what is spirituality and
that's
what
it.
is, yeah.
That's it. But people reflect to you, and
Mm.
and 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 when I say that, I say that with caution, because sometimes people can reflect to you depending on what's going on in their life in a wrong way. But I was
Mm.
lucky to be surrounded by good people that were good to me, and they. I'll give you an example. When we're going through primary school and high
Mhm.
school, we get report cards, and
Mm.
there's the mark, but then there's also the remarks about the child.
Mm.
My remarks were consistent from reception, or actually I went straight to year one because I didn't have reception in my day. Well, I went
Mhm.
straight to year one, and they were always the same thing.
Mm.
She is very level-headed. Natalie is very level-headed girl.
Mm.
She's, beyond her years.
Mm.
And I didn't even understand that as a child, what that really meant. I actually thought, oh, well, it seems to be good. Nothing exciting though, maybe a bit boring, but now I understand what they meant. And I do believe that I as a child was beyond my years because I
Mm.
think I was listening to the inner voice without even knowing it.
Mm, right. Beautiful. So, how did the transition change from that age and afterwards what you wanted to do or what you wanted to become? But then you came into your teenage years, and then after the teenage years, obviously you were thinking of what's going on in your mind as a child, and now, or it's great to see that your inner voice was telling you all the time or making you do things that all the time. How did you struggle with that? Were you having any norms, like, the surroundings, and people used to say, your friends, your colleagues, your family members, that saying, hey, you are good at this, good at that, do this, do that. However, your inner voice is probably saying something, and then you were struggling. It was that a challenge that you overcome quite easily, or you think that was a big challenge at that time to convince or to justify everyone and anyone that's around you?
Okay, so not knowing the inner voice, even though I was listening to it, but not knowing the power of it,
Mm.
life experiences allowed me to experience the times when I did listen to it. And I
Mm-hmm.
reflected, going, oh, that was a good decision. And
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
certainly showed me in a big way the times that I did not listen to it. Because when you don't listen to that inner voice, something
Mm.
that tells you a gut feeling, and the inner voice is like the gut feeling or that
Correct.
little voice in your head, or,
Yeah.
when I didn't listen to that, like everyone in life, then
Mm.
everything seems to go wrong. Or
Yes.
you make the wrong decision and then life doesn't flow in the way it's meant to flow. So
Mm.
the I guess a significant life event for me that was a pivotal life event that
Mm-hmm.
changed the trajectory of my existence
Right. Right.
was my divorce.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So yeah, I there was that happened, and then the other significant moment that happened straight after that was that I don't know
Mm.
how to say this, but I started seeing dead people.
Oh, oh my God. We'll come to that. Hold that thought. I am going to come to that. Let me ask you this beautiful journey that you started with this inner voice. And that's a great start for any human to recognize or early age of your life that there is an inner voice, that there is I want to do from my own and from my own thoughts. I wanted to, so how did you went from a dental hygienist to a clinical? And then you did a lot of TV present. That means you are outgoing, a model, TV presenter. This needs extrovert, not an introvert.
Aha.
This needs
Yes.
something different.
Mm, mm,
And then you made commercials or infomercials. You did a lot of commercials on the show.
yeah.
That you are obviously interacting in the public eye, which
Yeah.
is everybody's watching you. It doesn't matter who it is, but everybody's watching you. How did you made that journey? Tell us something about that journey.
Oh, I'd love to share that story. I
Yeah, I
don't
would.
consider my life to be very interesting, so I hope I'm not boring everyone, but
No,
that
no.
that happened like this. So when I was in high school, I
Mm.
was age 15. My girlfriend in high school said, I want to do a modeling course for self-development and grooming because I want to be in hospitality. And
Uh-huh.
she said, this will help me. Do you want to do the course with me? And
Mm.
I thought, sure, just to support my friend, I will go and do the modeling, self-deportment and grooming course. And it was a Tanya Powell course.
Right.
And I did that. And when I graduated that course, I was the only one to be given this. We had to do a catwalk thing,
Right.
with our lovely
Sure.
clothes, and then we were issued our certificate. And mine was the only one in an envelope. And I thought, what's this? And there was all judges, when we had to do the catwalk, and then they give us a certificate. And when I went back to my table. It was a dining setting where your family got to have dinner and watch you on the
Sure.
catwalk. And I sat down with my family and I opened it up and it said, you have been awarded TV commercial potential.
Whoa.
And I thought, wow, that's amazing.
Mm.
But I was young and my mum's like, nah. And I didn't do anything with it because it just sort of wasn't encouraged. And I was very young.
Yeah.
And, as my parents, I guess my mum was maybe worried where that would lead me. So anyway, it didn't matter. But when then I still continued in the field of dentistry. when I was studying to be a dental hygienist at this stage, I was progressing my career. To support myself for a bit of extra pocket money, I never forgot that little slip that said you're awarded TV commercial potential. So I went to a modeling agency, and that was Rachel's Model Management. So, and I approached her and I said, look, I've done this course and this is what they said years ago, blah, blah, blah. She ended up taking me on as a model, and that's how audition after audition after audition for TV ads, I used to get them all. And I used to think, wow, what is going on here? And people used to say, you're so lucky, you've got something, because I realized too, other people went for audition after audition and didn't get them. So I didn't know what it was, but I thought there must be something. So it's not like it just grew from there. Everything just was an adventure, really. So I did that parallel to being a dental hygienist. I worked for lots of dentists that let me take time off to go and do these gigs, as they're called, go for the auditions and get the gigs, because it was just one of those things. The universe just, everything fell into place with every job that I was able to take the time off to do it. It was amazing how it worked out, because there's not many dentists that would allow their staff to go, sure, you want to take next Wednesday off to do this, go. Not many would say that. So I ended up working for lovely people that allowed me to do that.
So now I want to come to that thing where you were talking, but I wanted to ask you this, was this, now when you look back, was that inner voice made you do things and things fall in places? But personally, my view of every single that event happens in our life as a human, I wanted to ask you, like, and how do you reflect now, that was it the inner voice letting you do things, or you yourself taking the initiatives? Because all the listeners probably might be thinking, I am lucky or she's lucky. No, it's not about that. It's about, are you taking the initiative to go and check out? Just like you went and took the opportunity and you went ahead. Okay, you reminded yourself that card was given to you as a model. So you started checking out that. But that initiation, if you had not done, probably you would not have done any commercials,
You're
right?
right, Shailesh, you're right. So there was something inside of me that it made me feel excited. So I guess listen to that, because if you're following your bliss, you're following something that makes you excited or happy, that's a good thing. And you have to take initiative. I think being a human being, nothing just happens to us out of the sky. We have to take action.
Correct, correct. And that's where I think when you talked about earlier about we are spiritual, or when we understand that, are we spiritual enough to understand our own self? And spiritual is nothing a big fancy word, but it is just means that you understand your own strength, you understand your own voice. And that's what it is we are spiritual, or we call it our spiritual. We are spirits.
We understand that there's something greater than us.
Yes, correct.
And when you're a child, and when we don't know, but the more we get to experience interactions, conversations,
Yes, yes.
we get to learn more about ourselves. And actually, it's not all in our head. This is a real thing.
This is a real thing. Correct, correct. As we say that when we sow the seeds for a tree or a plant, that we want some fruits out of it, we have to sow the seeds first, and we have to just wait until it grows. But if you don't take that first step of sowing the seeds, we don't know, and we can't expect anything. Not just know, but we can't expect anything because we haven't taken that action, the first action that needs to
Yes.
happen, right?
Yes. In my line of work now, and we will explain, I guess, how I changed careers.
Yes, yes.
But I love what you just said, because we have to have an idea. We have a mind. Our mind is our gift from the all that is, because our imagination creates everything. It creates our life, because whatever we think and feel about it, which is the magic, the feeling is the magic to the thoughts. Then with our mind, we can create ways to make that happen. So we put it into action. And if we consistently think the same thing and have that feeling towards it, action and consistency is key, because you will inevitably achieve that. And Dr. Caroline Leaf is somebody I bought her book. I think she calls it Cleaning Up Your Mental Mess. She's a
Mm-hmm.
neurosurgeon, I believe, in the US.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they say that it takes 21 days to form a new habit, but she says no, it takes 63 based on her research and science, because our brains are full of neurons, which are like our beliefs, our belief system, and our personality. And
Mm.
so if we consistently think of something every
Right.
day, we put our mind to it and we love it, we believe in it, we connect with it, we bring the feeling into it. It takes
Yep.
63 days to change neurons in someone's brain, and which means it will change your personality. And if
Mm.
you change your personality, then you change your personal reality. And that
Mm.
is a quote too that I love from Dr. Joe Dispenza, that we as human beings, we have something called we have neuroplasticity. So we
Mhm.
can literally, if we're not happy with our life, we can change it by being the witness to our thoughts.
Mm.
And when we're the witness to our thoughts and feelings, we can work on that and go, you know what, that's not really working for me. It's time to change. So I love what you said there. It just spurred off this whole tangent. So I'm sorry about that,
No,
Shailesh.
no, no, that's fine. That's fantastic. Welcome. Yeah, that's the beauty of this interaction, that when we know about a human, how they made those mindset changes according to their own will and freeness. But that's what we are talking about, is we all free spirited, and we all needs to be free from everything, like not taking decisions or taking initiations through some other channel, but through your own channel. And that's something is very powerful. So coming to the another layer of your journey,
Yes.
Natalie, tell me something about when you did this commercials, you were extrovert, you became public eye figure. How did you feel that, okay, is this a more responsibility on you as a person at that time or at that age, or
Absolutely.
are you
I love what
still,
you just said. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I felt, and
Hmm.
I feel this, I feel a sense of responsibility in
Hmm.
everything that I do. I
Hmm.
absolutely will validate myself that it comes from a place of integrity and responsibility. Because even when I was doing the modeling work, I
Hmm.
never became, oh, I did the work like
Hmm.
a good girl, you know, I did this pose, do this, very obliging. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't say I was an extrovert still. I was still an
Hmm.
introvert. At work, when I worked at the dental hospital, I remember I couldn't even eat my lunch in front of people. I felt very
Ah.
self-conscious. I couldn't even blow my nose. I would excuse myself and go to the bathroom just to blow
Mhm.
my nose because I felt so embarrassed and I felt so self-conscious. So
Hmm.
even though I was doing modeling, it's funny, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
to myself, why am I given this? Why am I getting all these jobs? And I honestly thought there's
Hmm.
something here that's bigger than that I don't understand right now, but
Hmm.
I'm going to do it. And to know that, yeah, to do it, um, yeah, respectfully with integrity. And yeah, that has always been a part of me, a big part of me in everything that I do.
Yeah, because I think changes do happen in everyone's life, and every single moment those changes are happening.
Yeah.
However, it's just like, we to accept those changes as, is it because of you, or is it for you, or what is it basically? And then understanding that, difference between, oh, it's happening good for me, or good for us, or good for you, or is it you are making good for you, whatever that changes are. Acceptance is quite important around that time. And that's something that I wanted to just tell to all the listeners, that look, Natalie is a natural human, normal human, who has, when she says that, okay, she did this, that, and she came, whatever universe gave to her, put it this way, whatever universe gave to her, she actually explored rather than ignored, or rather than saying, no, I don't want to do this, I will do something else. That's why you ended up doing so many things, and you are still doing so many things. So tell me something about the mindset today that you have has evolved from what you were before, and how do
Oh,
you put that into current situation and the practice that
all
you
right. I have to go back to when I saw dead people.
Oh, that's what we were talking about, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah, because that is this will answer the question. It's a huge
Yeah.
question.
Yes.
So I guess ask me the question again just to make it really clear.
So basically, what you see now is all those evolvement that it has happened, and the
Yeah,
mindsets that you have changed along. But today, when you look at it, is that a similar kind of a mindset that you have, that to accept and agree everything, but also moving forward? Have you made your mindsets into that,
yeah.
situation, into that like pattern, not pattern, I would say, but into that,
Okay.
not even habit, not even pattern, but it's something that is naturally come to you,
Yeah.
and that you have accepted that, and you have now going forward, the mindset is going to be similar, or you have realized, like we call it a self-realization, and this is what I want to do, this is what I will be doing, but not like pinpointing, but accepting the changes also, and
Yeah. Oh,
still go.
yeah. Okay. So when so I am still the same person that I was
Yeah.
when I was born, when my soul entered my meat
Mhm.
suit. Because
Okay.
this is just a
A
temporary
temporary
vehicle for
body.
my existence. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a wonderful one. And we're all blessed to be here. It's amazing to be alive.
True.
I believe that through the passage of time, that with the experiences that we have,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm talking the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifference, everything in between. It
Mm-hmm.
allows me personally to have lots of opportunities to validate the inner voice. So, how do I live life differently now from then? I'm still growing and evolving, and I will until the day that I leave this vehicle,
Yep.
or some people call it dying, but I believe we never actually die.
We never die. Yeah.
No.
I
And so
agree.
how has it changed? Well, I would like to leave a legacy behind. I'm more clear on the legacy. And the legacy is not about the car or the house or the holiday.
Yeah.
It's helping humanity in some way. So that's why so when I saw when I saw the person who had passed, can I quickly tell this story?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
All right, so after the divorce, I was shifting into my home. I had shipped out and I had to buy another home. And I was waving at this gentleman. I'm going to cut the story right down, so I'm not here forever talking about this, but I was waving at the new neighbor for a while. He was an elderly man wearing a blue and white check shirt, fiddling with his little bags, putting things in the bin. He didn't wave back, and I waved for a long time, going in and out of the car, putting my things in the home. And anyway, it turns out that when I did eventually meet the neighbours, it was a lady and her mother and her daughter who lived there. And I said, "And your dad?" Excuse me. And she said, "No." She goes, "My father passed away." And I said, "Oh, sorry, I just assumed there was somebody going through your bins." And I was waving at him. I said, "Now I realize it wasn't your dad." I said, "I wonder who I was waving at." And she said, "Well, what did he look like?" So I explained to him. I said he was about this high, the blue and white check shirt, his hair, he had a concave chest, what he was doing. And she said, "That's my dad." She said, "And we couldn't get that shirt off of him." And I got all goosebumps because I thought to myself, so this is really a pivotal life event for me, because this event changed the trajectory of my life. And the reason why I wrote the book, I went inward with my journey as to how this happened. So it got validated that I saw her father, and I thought, wow, all the hair stood up on my arms. She was a bit freaked out by it as well. And then it went from there. Then, because with the divorce, my children, I have two beautiful children. One week they're with their father, one week they're with me. The week that they weren't with me, I had time to think. And it was a painful time because my children were everything. And all of a sudden, 1 week on, 1 week off, it was just really hard for me. So I spent my time going inwards, thinking, how come I saw that man that wasn't alive? Actually, I thought when I was young, when I was, I don't know how old I was, maybe 7 or something, I saw my grandfather and I started to remember. I saw my grandfather who had passed away. I was playing with my brother with some toys, and my grandfather appeared sitting on a chair, and he turned around and he looked at us. And I said, "Granddad." And I ran down the stairs to tell mum. And little things happen like that. I've actually written them. I don't know if I wrote about my granddad, but oh yeah, I did. I wrote about, this is my book. I wrote about them in my book because this book it's not about me. Spirit told me to write this book, and that's what I want to talk about too. So
Right.
it was all of these moments that I started thinking, oh, what is this about? This, I've been doing this for a while. I just wasn't aware of it, because when you're a kid, how do you know yourself? You don't.
True.
So from there, I started to do meditation. I
Mm-hmm.
did a meditation to open up the pineal gland because I had read a book by Dr. Joe Dispenza called Becoming Supernatural. I
Right.
love that book. And I thought, oh, I want to open up this pineal gland. It sounds amazing. Because
Right.
I worked out that's a connection, and that's a very important gland. I did this online YouTube meditation. I was by myself. The kids had gone to school, and it was incredible, Shailesh. The left side, like half of my brain was shaking, like quivering, like it was cold. It wasn't cold, but it was that shiver.
Uh-huh.
And then I heard shattering glass in my left ear, but it wasn't my eardrum, and it was nothing to do with my hearing apparatus in my head. It was something phenomenal that I'd never experienced. And I remember thinking, oh, should I be worried? And something told me to keep calm and let it happen. After that moment, my life just changed. I started getting downloads from divine intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
The download was to write this book,
Mm-hmm.
because at 3 o'clock I've always been a great sleeper, but I was woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was told all these titles of books, and they were all inspirational books to help people. The
Mm-hmm.
titles were all amazing, and they were given to me from source. And I woke up in the middle of the night, got them all down on my phone. That's another story, because I wasn't tech savvy, but somehow at 3 a.m. and I couldn't even see out my eyes because I was tired, I somehow managed to type in perfectly every title of this book into my phone that was downloaded to me in this dream. I went back to sleep. The next day I said to my husband, I have absolutely been injected with inspiration, and I'm going to write a book. So
Wow.
that's how it happened. In
Mm-hmm.
3 sittings, bar one I sat there and nothing much came out of my head. But this book was downloaded in stages to me from the divine. There's even 10 R's in it, like the letter R. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a formula or a framework for people to work through problems, work through their thoughts.
Right.
And so it's
Mm-hmm.
all in here. And I said to divine intelligence, okay, you've injected me with inspiration. I never aspired to be an author. I didn't even consider myself that great at English. But I said, you've done this, I would do it. I'm your humble servant. Now, this conversation went on in my head, not out loud. I said, I'm your humble servant. Sure, I do trust in all that is. And if you want me to do this, which I will, but you have to support me financially. There is no way I can write a book and publish it, because I started Googling and I thought, this is expensive,
Mm-hmm.
thousands and thousands. And sure enough, one thing led to the another. I met people that said, oh, I'll edit your book. Oh, just give me $100. That will be fine. When normally it would cost thousands.
Yes.
And one thing led to another, and the book got published and is now released. So my life changed from the divorce,
Mm-hmm.
seeing the spirit,
Mm-hmm.
going inward and reflecting on all those moments that I actually had, those intuitive moments,
Right.
acknowledging them. And then from there, I turned up the volume to it, did that meditation. I seem to be more connected now. Even now, I can do readings for people. I can read, I can see
Ah.
auras,
Mm.
very intuitive. And I'm doing mediumship classes to enhance that. And really, I can do it. So it's more about, because what you said before, Shailesh, about having this respect or this integrity, this feeling of being responsible for people, I will do mediumship and maybe bring through messages from deceased ones for their loved ones that are still living here.
Yeah.
I want to do that to help people, and I will do that, but I have to be sure that I have full trust that I'm delivering the right message, because I'm responsible for that person who may be very
Exactly. I was
vulnerable.
about to ask you that actually. And I think it's
Yeah.
very amazing that when we get everything we get from universe, we don't know why we get, but there is some message, there is some communication, that you are a communication channel for the universe, that you would like to help others. And that, what an amazing that you already have. Then to all the listeners, they need to understand, or we need to all to understand that, we all are here to support, pass on information that we know, that we have got the experience and the wisdom. But tell me something in that context. How do you feel that by doing this, is it giving you that ultimatum? We call it the inner peace or the solace of our life. Does that feel like that for you when you
Yeah,
write
it
these things?
oh yes, it feels like I get it now. I
Mm,
feel euphoric with what I do. I feel at one. I feel inner peace. But you know how I know is that the connection now is so strong. I
mm,
feel like a tree with a thick trunk, with
mhm,
deep roots in the earth. But
mm,
with whatever storms come, the weather, the rain, which is
mm.
interactions perhaps sometimes that aren't so
Yep,
great, or the trials and tribulations of
yep,
life,
yep.
I feel that I'm so grounded and so connected to source that I'm unshakable, and nothing can really rattle my feathers. Things still do. I'm a human being and I'm still going to express and feel emotions
Of
because I
course.
believe that we have these experiences to expand our conscious awareness, but also I believe we have these experiences so source can experience itself.
Mm,
So it's all beautiful. And and I just think life is just a beautiful thing. And these experiences have definitely made me more grounded, more peaceful. If I do have my feathers ruffled, it doesn't take me long to ground myself again, collect my thoughts, to remember who I truly am. Because Shailesh, you and I and everyone listening to this, you are
mhm.
all beautiful, unique individuals, and there's absolutely no one like you in the universe. And I can validate that. Your fingerprints don't match anyone else's, not even identical twins. Your
100%.
eyes, open up your phone,
Yes.
your voice opens up the ATO. You have to say, in Australia, my voice identifies me when you ring up Centrelink or the Australian Taxation Office. The
Mm,
government knows this, that only your voice is unique to you. So
mm,
isn't that a huge
100.
thing to think about, that you're here for a reason and you're amazing?
I agree 100%. We all are so unique in our own right, and we are absolutely, absolutely one of a kind. We all are one of a kind. So I totally agree, can't deny all that facts. Being myself quite self-realized and quite awakened, I can relate to that quite strongly. And no, will not hesitate to let everyone who was listening today that, hey, you all are unique and you all have that power. So there is nothing that you can't do in this universe. But going back to your journey, life journey, Natalie, tell me, after these things, that you are at a stage where now you have done so many things and you are still doing so many things. Is there an end to it? Or what do you think? What is there an end to our life journey?
I believe no. The thing about the brain, and this is science, is
Mm-hmm.
that the neurons in the brain keep growing and developing and growing more dendrites with all experiences and creative mindsets. And we never stop learning until the day that we finish this existence in this body.
In this body. Yeah, I agree.
So
Yes.
I don't think I'll ever retire as such. What for?
Absolutely.
I
I
love life. I love doing things. Why would I want to stop?
100%. Can't agree more than that. So tell us, to all the listeners who are listening today, with this beautiful conversation that we are having, there is lots of things. There is a spirit talking, there is a real things happening in your life where you have seen and experienced. Now, this is not an everyday experience for everyone. Obviously, everyone's unique experiences make them unique.
Yes.
However, we are talking about today, what would you say with your, and I've seen that you would like to assist people, you would like to empower people, you would like to make every single person that valuable that they are. And to do that, you are written this book also, which is Uncover or Discover Your Hidden Potentials. So, with that in mind, what message would you like to give to all the listeners before we wrap up this interaction? I wanted to ask you, what's your message to all the listeners who are listening? With all your experiences that you have uncovered yourself, but now you want to assist people as well. So, what would be your real message at this moment for everyone who is listening?
Okay. This is a really good question. I think that I would like to impart a message that potentially could help a lot of people out there. Again, every experience, every situation is
Yeah.
an opportunity for you to see yourself. How people respond or treat you is nothing to do with you. It is always to do with them and how they see life and their opinions. It is no thing to do with you. No, nothing at all. And so when people, what I say is irk your gherkins, meaning upset you or ruffle your feathers, see it as an opportunity to go within. What that means is instead of saying they're rude, they're horrible, it's their fault, let them be them because they're just operating from their own experiences in life with their own opinions. Turn to you and say, why do I feel like that? What irks my gherkins? Why is that? Because that is every interaction is an opportunity. It's a gift for you to get to know yourself. And the more that you can see those, especially the hard times, the more that you can look at them as an action opportunity for you to grow as a person, then you won't have those experiences anymore because it just doesn't resonate with you anymore. You know who you are, or you know why you got rattled before, and it doesn't have the same effect on you. So you free yourself and you live the life that you want to live. And to finish that off, I believe very firmly that we are here as consciousness having a conscious experience. But why? Yes, so creator can experience itself, but why are we here? For mastery. Mastery. We're here to actually learn from every situation and grow from it. That's it. And there's no right or wrong. It's all a wonderful journey. And although some things in life can be hard, and let's face it, we've all got those. Nobody has a perfect life. No one. We're not meant to. We're meant to actually deal with things so we can grow as a human being. And I think when we come from that perspective, and instead of feeling things that taking it personally, to go, I'm not going to take that personally. That's their opinion. But how can I now step out of this quicker next time and work on it? And so my book will help with that too, because Spirit downloaded those 10 R's and and I just think it's amazing. And I'm not really plugging my book because it's not about me. And trust me, you don't make any money writing books. I don't know.
Of course, of
Maybe
course.
unless you're like a big time author. So it really is a labor of love. And it will help you. So anyway, that's what I'm going to say. Don't try to see things from a different perspective. Don't take it personally. Know that whatever they say or are doing or treating you is nothing to do with you. It's actually how they see the world. So really, by people being just say horrible or rude or whatever it may be, they're actually just showing you them. It's nothing about you. I hope that
Absolutely.
helps.
No, no, absolutely. Very well said, Natalie. I mean, this is what this life journey is all about. We talk about, and ultimately, your experience concludes what you have to rely. And that's something is very powerful as well. And because writing a book was your ultimate thing, that at least I have done my bit in this journey. As you said rightly, there is nothing right or wrong, but doing things is absolutely, absolutely prime thing for a human being to keep doing things. So, to all the listeners, this is a powerful message, Natalie, that you have given that there is no right or wrong, but you can't do anything but make sure that you keep doing things that you feel that you want to, right?
Yeah.
So, Amazing, amazing. Thank you. This is great message, Natalie. So, as listeners, you can see that she's not just a person or who is just like saying that, okay, I can't do this, I can't do that, but she's a person. Let's do this, let's do it, and then see whatever happens.
So the word can't, pick the
Yeah.
T off. I can. And
Oh,
I
great.
am, and I am are the most powerful words. And also the word impossible. Write it down. It spells I'm possible.
So true.
You're here for a reason. Live your life. Grab the steering wheel of your vessel, of your life, of your mind, and
Mm.
live it because we're not here for a long time.
Absolutely. So, all the listeners, we are all on a limited time clock, and we need to keep doing things faster than the time, than the clock ticks. So, start taking your actions quite fast. I can say that easily, right, Natalie, on your behalf? No, amazing. Natalie, thank you so much for this beautiful conversation we had today. I'm sure most of the listeners would take something out of it and say that, okay, if Natalie can do it, why can't I? Basically.
Absolutely.
And that's something
Absolutely.
that's a very powerful message I would like to give to all the listeners. Once again, thank you very much to all the listeners who are listening. But also, please write to us. And please, if you have any questions, Natalie is here. Her main core business, so-called, call it, or personal mission, you call it, or the goal, you call it, or whatever agenda you call it of Natalie, is to help you and assist you. So do not be hesitant to ask any questions, even if it's a stupid question. Natalie
Yeah,
will answer you.
yeah, I have a website. I'm a hypnopsychotherapist now, so I help people with anxiety, depression, and everything. But
That's great.
I do that with the use of hypnotherapy. So if anybody does have a question, Ultramind, spelt with an A,
Yep.
www.ultramind.com.au. You can send me an email if you'd like some help. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. Definitely, we'll come back to that beautiful topics as well on hypnotherapy one day. Definitely, we will talk about that.
Oh, that'd be great.
That's something that I would love to uncover your mind as well on that front. But today was about you. Let's talk about what you do in our next episode. Until then, thank you so much once again, Natalie, for this beautiful conversation. I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of our media channel to invite you once again and welcome you again. So thank you very much,
Thank
Natalie.
you. Thank you, Shailesh. So wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
Thank
Natalie.
you.
All right. So we can now come back again soon.